Just a quick reminder, the Behind the Goals podcast is available every Tuesday with me, Rachel Corsey, and me, Leanne Crichton. It's your one-stop shop for our take on everything that's happening in the world of football. Just head to BBC Sounds or wherever you get your podcasts and search for Behind the Goals.
The Scottish Football Podcast from BBC Radio Scotland.
Hello and welcome to the Scottish Football Podcast from BBC Scotland on Friday, the 13th of October. Our special guest is former Scotland striker Billy Dodds. I'm not superstitious, Billy, but I'm touching wood here that last night's defeat by Spain in the Euro qualifiers is just a bump on the road to Germany. Here's Angus Gunn's take.
We thought we went ahead. That was an unbelievable feeling at the time, and I think after it got chalked off, it was a little bit gutting. But I thought we dealt with it quite well, and unfortunately they scored quite soon after that. And I think after that the momentum was with them, we're disappointed with the result. But like I said at the start of the week, we've put ourselves in this position where we're still at top of the group, still looking strong, and hopefully still able to qualify soon. From our point of view, we've done a lot of the hard work early on in the group. We want to finish it off in the right way. We want to top the group as well. So we've got 2 more games, and it might happen on Sunday, but I'll probably watch it, and if it happens, it happens. If it does happen on Sunday, we deserve it.
All right, Billy, are you ready for this? We might as well cut to the chase. Was the correct decision reached in disallowing Scott McTominay's goal last night? You've had time to reflect on it. The anger's gone.
I'm like everybody else, David, where it was chaotic, wasn't it? And I looked at it and I thought, right, they've given that for a foul. I'm not having that. Anger, all the emotions flooded in, and you're thinking, what is going on? The offside one, you kind of understand it, but you can still disagree or agree with it. That you're saying now, was it interfering with play? It didn't look like it. I don't think the goalkeeper would have saved it. But the one thing you would have to say was slightly offside, and it might have stopped the Spanish goalkeeper from having a forward motion because Henry forced him back. It's the only thing. We can understand it. Let's just put it that way. I kind of understand if it's offside. It's hard to take. You can disagree with it. I couldn't understand why he was given a foul because there was hardly any contact in the goalkeeper, and it's a contact sport, let's be honest.
Aye, but looking back at it, Doddsy, He looks to me, although there weren't any lines drawn in the TV when I was watching it, he looks to be in an offside position. Initially, we're told it's for a foul on Unai Simon. Then subsequently, we learn the goal's disallowed for offside. So it's my understanding. It's up to the ref then to decide if, in his opinion, if he was interfering with play.
Yeah, but David, the ref was called over to look to see if it was a foul. He wasn't called over to look to see if it's offside. If they're not sure and they want the ref to have a look at it to see if he thinks it's a free kick, that's why they usually call them over. It's not to say, oh, do you think that's offside of those lines crossing? Not seen many of those. So
he's over there to decide. VAR are telling him it's offside.
No, VAR told him that's where the chaos comes in.
Exactly.
And he went to look at the foul and he believed it was a foul. Then we get it's chopped off because of a foul. And then we hear it's chopped off because of offside, which people can, although it's anger and it's that emotion I'm talking about, people sort of understand that, well, he was slightly offside and the keeper could have had a forward motion so he could have blocked that pass. So you start to understand it better. Do I think the goalkeeper would have got it? Absolutely not. I think it was past him before he knew it. I know we're talking about the negatives and we're all enraged by the decision that it's offside, but my God, we are talking about McTominay's strike, but if somebody like from the other side, Lionel Messi, had done that and put it in the top bin, we would have been raving about it. Look at Messi's goal, what a strike, magnificent. How good a goal was it? So I don't like seeing goals like that ruled out. That's what I'm saying.
My understanding is, if it's offside, then the ref's called over to look to see if he's in an offside position. So is he interfering with play? And the ref, whether we like it or not, has taken the decision that Hendry was interfering with play. A wee kind of push on the goalkeeper. But where I'm confused a wee bit is VAR have judged there's clear evidence for a serious mistake in a game-changing situation. No denying it's a game-changing situation, but they've obviously decided it's a serious mistake. The refs looked at it and agreed.
The thing is, if he's called over, you keep going on about the push. There wasn't a push. There was hardly. The one thing I would say is it stopped the goalkeeper, Simon, from having a forward motion. That's what they can say. We can come out with, we think it should have been a goal, but people say, yeah, but look at him, he couldn't come forward because Hendry was in his way, blocking his path, so he was interfering. So he couldn't make a forward motion to maybe try and get a punch on it. I'm not sure if he would have got it because it was past him before he knew it. That's my point. I'm not so much about the push and a foul. It was slightly offside. You could see straight away he was slightly offside. It's whether he was interfering. And was interfering, people Spanish will have a case where they go, well, it stops Simon coming forward and maybe punching the ball or getting a fist on the ball or a palm on the ball. That's what I think people will say if you're Spanish. Scottish are saying, there was hardly any contact. He just stood there. It was past him. It was in the far corner before he knew it. But there is a case for there's an interference to stop on the goalkeeper, and we understand that. But the chaos, and that word keeps cropping up, comes from the first shout was it was a foul. It wasn't a foul. There was hardly any contact. You can't give
a breakdown in communication somewhere.
Yeah, miscommunication has caused UEFA, caused Scotland fans just grief, to be honest with you. But they must be better. We've got VAR for a reason, to clear it up, not muddy the waters.
This is a general point, Doddsy. On balance, do you think VAR is causing more harm than good? I mean, we seem to be spending up. If we end up talking more about VAR than the rest of the game, has it no failed, or is it failing?
Just yet. I think there's sometimes you look at VAR and you say, wow, you would never have been able to get that just with the naked eye. I'm glad it's there. And there's cases where you think, what are they doing? We forget it's still referees that are looking at the pictures and deciding. So it's still referees who are capable of human error make the decisions. And everybody's capable of human error. You could put ex-football players in that VAR system. They would have different answers to the referees. We're still going to get a better chance of getting it right. Just for now, at the moment, I think we're getting too much wrong with it. It should be there for clarity, and sometimes it's not clarifying situations. That's what I would say. There's sometimes when it is though, and you have to give them that. You have to give them that respect when they're saying, that was only a neck offside. There was some of the ones where I'm thinking the guy's head's offside, or the top half of the body's offside, but you don't notice the defender's back foot sometimes, and you're thinking, oh wow, that was onside. I got that one wrong. So it's there for clarity. I think it's good for offsides. For decisions like last night, I think it's still human error. You've got other refs calling it, and referees, like all humans, are going to have different opinions, and I think that's where the problem lies.
I suppose though, Dodds, we've got to get over it, haven't we? We've got to get over it. I think I'm just about over it.
We were still good last night. The game plan was played out perfectly. We frustrated them. We broke the game up. We slowed it down. They were starting to get ratty. The crowd were turning, and we had chances within the game as well to get an equaliser or the opener when you see the offside goal. Or even get back to 2-1. So we created chances. Everything was positive about last night, apart from the result. We nearly got the result we wanted. It just wasn't there. But we're going into the next game against France in the friendly. But the next competitive game, obviously, away in Georgia, which has been our nemesis before, as we all know. We're going into the next game buoyant, even though we were still defeated. It's 1 defeat in 6. It's nothing but positive for me. It really is.
Does the France game have a wee bit more significance now, almost? And I was looking at it and I'm thinking, if we've qualified, then we're going to France, and it's, well, what's the point of this game? But now it's a wee chance maybe to lick our wounds, rest some players. Steve Clark can maybe try one or two other guys.
Every game is for a reason. there'll be a reason why Stevie Clark, obviously it was a centenary of the celebration, 150 years for the England game. For the France game, there'll been a reason why he's taken it. Good opposition, the best opposition, testing us to see where. I think you'll see loads of changes in the French game. We can't have risky injuries to our key players. Lost Robertson, lost Tierney for last night, and we don't want to lose any more long term. But it also gives them a look at other players who have been sitting in the wings, being patient, being a part of the squad, being really good supporters, because you can see we've got some team spirit as well. So I think you'll see loads of changes for the French game, and I think it'll be of good benefit to us in getting us ready and prepared for what's going to be the team against Georgia for a crucial game.
Who do you think will come in? Lewis Ferguson, maybe?
Players like that, there's plenty there who, I mean, Billy Gilmour only come on as a sub last night, he'll come back in. There'll be wholesale changes, I would feel. He'll still want to try, he'll not want to get, a hiding going into the next game against Georgia. And we'll never get that one. Too good a place, let's be honest. But the French are capable, that's what kind of worries me as well at times. But you see us against the best opposition, against England, against Spain, and now we're going up against France. It gives Stevie Clark a gauge where he is, so that's good. That can only be beneficial, but we've got to handle it carefully so we don't take a hiding, and I don't think we will just be where we are. We've got to get players game time, make them feel part of it, not lose the game, put up a good performance, nice solid base again, try and create some chances within it, which will be difficult in France, and get ourselves prepared for Georgia. Simple as that.
Of course, there's a much bigger game for Scotland before then, Dodds. It just happens to be in Oslo, and it's Norway against Spain, because we could have qualified on Sunday night if Norway drop points.
Not even think about it, because the boys have been incredible, the run they put together, and we're actually disappointed with a good performance against Spain. Just the result, we're disappointed that we couldn't go over the line last night, but there's no doubt it'll come. We'll get over the line. We've done too much and come too far to fail now, and I think we'll do enough. I think, although I said about Georgia being our nemesis and we've had bad results there in the past, I think we'll get a positive result there. I really do. I've enjoyed watching them. I've enjoyed watching the team and the squad grow, and the belief that could play against the top nations at a high level and qualify for tournaments again. I think we've come that far, and I think they've got too much about them to let it go now. And hopefully, I know Stevie was saying last night about it's in our own hands, we want to do it ourselves. It's what we've done as well, and he's correct to say that, but I would still like Spain to do us a turn against Norway as well, and even get probably the draw would be the best result for us.
No seeds of doubt at all, Doddsy, in your mind about Scotland's qualification?
Not yet.
Am I not going to need the Nations League?
No. I just think in the past when we've gone to Georgia, I think we've been like, that's a crucial game. And again, it is crucial, don't get me wrong, but I just think we're in a better place than what we've been before. There's a realisation that we're a really good team and we can compete against top nations, and that Cyprus was a tricky one away, I felt, and we've had, it's not been straightforward there. We've snuck it by the odd goal now and again. That's where I'm at with the team, with the state of mind, with the type of player we've got, playing at Premiership level, Scottish Premiership level, some playing abroad, as you spoke about. Lewis Ferguson could come in against France and Bologna. There is so much good about this team just now. I think they've got enough to get, not just rely on Spain, but to get the right results required in the next games.
I was kind of thinking, watching the game last night, I'm thinking Laporte, he should have been off the park, a couple of yellows. Now I'm quite glad he's playing. He maybe take care of Haaland. That's
when it was 0-0, you're thinking, yeah, I know. We were all like that. That's emotions. That's reaction when you're watching the game. We were all the same. And yeah, I was angry with the ref, and I'm shouting at the telly, and I'm not happy with certain things. But when you sit down, reassess it, look at it, and that's why I come to the answer of, you understand the offside, you might still not agree with it, you don't understand the foul, and that's why that was all over the place last night. I thought, in such an important game with two big nations looking to qualify for a major tournament, for that to be put out as a foul and then said, oh, it's not a foul, it's offside, was just, I've used the word a lot in this podcast already. It was chaotic, and we don't need that at top level football.
See, I told you, Dodgy, I was over it, and you're bringing it up again right at the end. But we'll draw a veil over that controversial decision last night. We'll move on to the other kind of hot topic in Scottish football just now. That's the Rangers managerial situation. Final interviews we hear likely to take until the end of the working week. Rangers are keeping it very tight, aren't they? Tight-lipped about it. But a quick survey of the media today tells me that some outlets are seeing it as between Philippe Clement and Kevin Muscat, your one of your former Rangers teammates.
Yes. The one thing I'll say is I can totally understand the Rangers board taking their time over this decision. You can't let the press, I was going to say press you, but push you to get an answer quickly. I think it's such an important decision for the Rangers board and the club and the players as a whole that they get the right man in. And if that takes to the end of the working week to early into next week, then so be it, because they have got to be sure. And I think they're doing the right thing, the Rangers board. They really do, taking their time over it. I don't think it's a decision that has to be rushed. I don't know Clement. I know of him and what he's done. I know Kevin Muscat. I think with the style that he's brought to Yokohama and following on, and I know everybody goes on about it, but following on in Ange Postecoglou's footsteps is a hard one. A lot of people like taking jobs when they're at rock bottom, and they weren't under Ange, they were flying, so he's kept it going. I think that's a particular positive. I know him as a guy, and I've not spoken to Muskie for a few years, but I know him as a guy, and the determination he had as a player doesn't make you a good coach or a good manager, but he's shown that taking over from Ange Postecoglou and keeping that going at Yokohama and the way it's going and the way he's carried on the success there, it's a hard job to do, and he's done that. I know his desire as a person, his will to win, so he's a very good candidate. He's a very good candidate as Clement, and that's why they're taking their time making the decision between, it looks like, the two of them.
Well, if it is between those two, and let's be honest, we don't know that, its managers have both been successful in different countries and different football cultures. Is that a consideration for you?
Yeah, listen, I would like to see Scottish managers getting their chance. I really would. It's kind of fallen away from the early Premiership years in England, but still got David Moyes down there. But there's very good Scottish managers. But if it is Clement and Muscat, and you're saying about the international and players they could maybe bring, or the style of football, or the leagues they've played in or managed in, I've no problem with that, because again, I go back to Ange Postecoglou. Everybody doubted him. Take a huge gamble. Wow, look at his style and the players that he's attracted to this country. I don't think would ever have been here if it wasn't for Ange Postecoglou. So we've got a lot to thank him for. And I mean your Kyogos, your Hitatis, I could name a few more. So if Kevin Muscat can bring that style, keep it going first at his club, the same way as Ange left him, a good job and a club that's doing well, but to continue that and sustain that is pretty difficult. He's done that. But if Kevin Muscat can bring that style, bring the type of player, because it's opened up that market, and you can see that at other clubs as well now, and bring the style that Ange Postecoglou is now taking from Celtic to go to Spurs, he'd be a very good candidate. So I wouldn't diss that, but I wouldn't diss Clement either, because he's a success in football. I know he gets sacked from Monaco, but he's had a lot of success as well. But I don't know Clement. I'm just telling you what I know about Kevin Muscat.
Well, Dodds, we'll have to leave it there, because I'm away to watch that Scott McTominay goal or non-goal another couple of hundred times.
You'll
just
still
to see if I
get...
change my mind. But I think that's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much to today's special guest on the Scottish Football Podcast, Billy Dodds, and to you for listening. Remember, Off the Ball at 12 tomorrow, Sports Sound from 2. And remember, there's a new podcast every day on BBC Sounds.
The Scottish Football Podcast from BBC Radio Scotland.